Welcome to the 580 Exchange. We're here today on our lovely campus at the University Center of Greenville, and I'm so excited today to talk to Dr. Evan Thomas, our Associate Professor of Marriage and Family Therapy and the Department Chair. Happy to have some time with you today, Evan.
Yes, welcome to Greenville.
Thank you. So can you share a little bit about your personal journey and what inspired you to specialize in marriage and family therapy?
Yeah, so I'm one of those unique people who one day in ninth grade, I just decided that I was going to be a therapist. I don't know why, but I was like, okay, I'm going to be a therapist. Made that decision and started the journey there. Went to undergrad. Yeah. So yes, I'm also a Taurus. So we are decision makers and we always have a plan. And so I created this plan. I was going to be a therapist. Got to undergrad in psychology, and then met one of my current mentors, Dr. Maria Bermudez, who was a faculty in the Marriage and Family Therapy program at the University of Georgia, and she convinced me that marriage and family therapy was way more fun than a psychology graduate degree, and that's how I landed. I ended up going to the two programs that she went to for her master's and PhD. And now she refers students from the University of Georgia here to our program.
To come to your program. Yes. Oh, that's got to be so rewarding for her.
So full circle moment.
Oh, that's outstanding. So tell us a little bit about our program here at Converse. We know it's special, but can you share with our audience what makes this program so special?
Yeah, how much time do we have? So the biggest, some of the core values that our program has that I'm just always proud to talk about. The biggest one is what we call the cohort model, or it's community-based learning. So when you start our program, you start with a cohort right now around 15 students per cohort, and you take every class with that cohort. And so you really are able to build community with this cohort, this group of 14 other students who are learning the same thing and at the same pace that you are learning how to become a marriage and family therapist, and it really just creates this huge community of support with each other. I still am going to brunch with cohorts that have graduated 5 years ago that are still getting together, still working together in private practice, still building community support after they've graduated from the program. That's probably one of my favorite things about the program. If we were to do a tour of the University Center, you would see a photo of every cohort that has graduated so far. So that speaks to kind of that community piece.
You're going to have brunch covered forever.
I know.
With all these cohorts.
I know. I'm running out of brunch spots. So.
A good problem.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to do what we do, but so that's probably the biggest component of our program is that community cohort model where you really create a network of fellow therapists to feed ideas off of each other and really help each other as you train and grow during your time. The other biggest thing is our partnership with Emerge Family Therapy Center. And so what that means is all of the students, and this directly connects to that cohort model, is all of the students work at the Emerge Family Therapy Center clinic together. So some programs you have to go and find an externship site that could be an hour drive away from where your classes are. Here at Converse, at the University Center, it is 3 steps behind us, and you are walking from classroom to being a clinician in 2 minutes. At the Spartanburg campus, it's a quick 10-minute drive from classes to clinic, and you're going there together as a cohort. Students are carpooling back and forth. They're really, again, that cohort community building model where you're seeing all of your clinical work that is required of you and being supervised by the MFT faculty. Whereas other programs, you might have to have a supervisor who is not a faculty member of the program. It's the practice owner of that private practice. Here, you really, they get a lot of us. The students get a lot of our faculty, which again creates that community, but they are supervised by faculty that they trust, by the experts in the field of marriage and family therapy.
Oh, that's outstanding.
So those are two of the biggest pieces that really set us apart.
And I love that notion of learning in community with others, because then you're going out and impacting your community wherever you land, and you know that model of working with others, and the clinical experience is just so greatly appreciated. I know to have all of that baked in. It's unlike other programs to have all of that encouragement and support that you need to truly be a great therapist. So as you look at the larger field, and I know you're a thought leader in marriage and family therapy, but as you look at the broader field, what are some challenges and opportunities you see on the horizon for people who are aspiring to be therapists?
Yeah, so opportunities is that one, we'll say, positive thing that COVID gave us, positive use loosely there,
I guess,
is mental health has become more ingrained in our culture, our society, right? And so people really are paying attention to their mental health and really leaning on marriage and family therapists to achieve their mental health goals that they have created, and it's more normalized in our culture.
Yeah, not that stigma anymore of going to see a therapist.
And it's great. I mean, that's one of the things that I enjoy every day in what I do as a supervisor, professor, is seeing that stigma decreasing just one notch at a time, and really people being able to become their authentic selves in the therapy room and grow from that. So that's the exciting growth that is happening. Our field is growing. There's a higher need for marriage and family therapists, especially here in the upstate of South Carolina. So that's exciting. I mean, I'm proud that Converse is able to provide the needs and to meet the needs of the community.
Absolutely.
With that as the growth happens. Some of the challenges that we're working together as a community, as a field, is how to really train students, how to train therapists to stay on top of code of ethics and what that looks like as any type of legislation is passed that could impact or change how we work with clients in the therapy room. So really trying to put on more of an advocacy hat of, okay, this is what legislation looks like, this is how it impacts you in the therapy room, and this is how you follow the code of ethics and the ethics of our national organization to maintain that you're practicing as ethical as possible.
Especially with so much change in the world today. Yeah, that's great. A great aspect of the training. Now, what do you hope for your students, Evan, that they take away from this program? And I'm thinking both professionally and personally as they go out into the world. What do you aspire for your graduates?
Yeah, so personally, one of the things that I love to see is the growth that they have with themselves, the confidence that they build as they're learning to become a therapist, and how that translates into their personal life. You know, from day one to graduation, we really get to see their authentic self shine and build, and that confidence just really come out and how they interact with us. Sometimes too much, but you know, we work with it. We accept that.
You can't put that personality back in the bottle. It's out. It's free.
It's like, who's this? You know, that's not who I met day one. But just that, the strength and really, you know, we call it self of the therapist, really exploring who they are and how they're showing up in their relationships, in their communities, and as a therapist in the therapy room, just that confidence in themselves. It's one of my favorite pieces of what we do here, training students how to become marriage and family therapists. And then professionally, it's really strengthening their skills as a therapist, really learning how to meet someone where they're at and to really walk with them as that person learns who their authentic self is and strengthens their authentic self. And so it's kind of like a mirrored process, right? They're doing it, and then they're bringing that into the room and doing that with their client. And so seeing that all come together is phenomenal.
And how it's improving the entire community. I mean, one person at a time. I wanted to ask you one last question. Can you identify, and I know there's so many brunch appointments you have.
Yes.
But is there a particular student success story that you could share with us about a student that maybe surprised you or that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, so it is very hard to narrow it down just to one, But we have a group practice, a group of alumni right now who have started. It's called Berkana Collective, and they are a practice here. They are now located in Greer. 4 alumni at this point work together, and they specialize in working with the queer and trans community here in the upstate and the state of South Carolina. And so just to see that practice, how it's thriving, growing, Shaylin, who's one of the founders, is on the upstate LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. So really bringing in that piece of business and therapy and strengthening resources available to that community has just been phenomenal.
And in growing Greer.
There's
so much growth in Greer.
Yes.
Yeah, outstanding. Well, thank you so much, Evan. You're making such a difference for our students. I know you're so proud of your faculty in this program in general, and it's really one of the flagship programs in our graduate catalog. So I appreciate you spending a little time today talking about it. I agree, we could talk all day about this, but I guess we need to go get brunch now.
I know.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
well, thank you so much, and thank you all for joining this edition of 580 Exchange.